Hello, I'm making a 100-foot float line for spearfishing today, and what I'm using is a Amstel coated Dyneema. Dyneema is manufactured in the Netherlands and Spectra is manufactured in the States. They're both identical, but for this video I'm going to call it Dyneema. At the end of this video I have the websites listed where I purchased all this material. I purchased everything online and the companies were great, had no problems with them. Alright, what I did first was I needed to figure out how far this PVC tubing stretched. So I secured one end, laid out 25 feet, marked it, and then put a tape measure next to it to get an idea of how far I could safely stretch this. I pulled in till it felt right, I didn't want to overstretch it. Ended up pulling it about, for that 25-foot section, I ended up pulling it 7 feet. Okay, so what I'll end up doing, I'm using 100 foot of this PVC. So if you multiply, 4 times 7, you got 28. I rounded down to 25. So I'm going to end up using 125 feet of the Dyneema and 100 foot of the PVC, and this is how I laid it out, measured it. Okay, the first thing I did was I took the larger hook plug and spliced it, and this is how I made the splice. Alright, it makes a nice splice at the end. Now what I do is I need to feed it through. What I used was a piece of thread and a piece of cotton, and I used a vacuum cleaner to suck it through. Went through pretty easy. I secured the Dyneema to the thread and had my son on the other end help pull it back through the 100 feet. And fished it through, got it all the way to the other end, tied a knot in it so that it would not pull back through, and then I had my son just hold it around the fence there to secure it. And the next step is to get 125 foot of Dyneema into 100 foot of PVC. It's really easy. I just stretched it out, pulled it all the way to the end, and then held on to it, got it right into the end, held on to it, and then released the tension on it, and the Dyneema just folds right up inside. I'll show you a little piece here at the end right here, and you see what the Dyneema does. It collapses on itself. It allows it to shrink inside the tubing. Okay, then I took a hair dryer to heat up the end of the PVC, and that just makes it easier to push on. Push it all the way up to the end. There's a little groove in there. You push it all the way up to the end of that. And once you get it to the very end, I took a tie wrap and secured a tie wrap around. There's actually a little groove in that fitting, so that fits right down in there nice and tight, and it secures that in great. Alright, that's one end. Now for the other end, this is a little different to secure this end, because you can't pull the Dyneema back through the loop like I did on the first one. You actually have to pull the fitting through part of the loop, which I'm going to show you here step by step. Once you pull it out, you're going to pull a little bit more so that the end of this plug, as you can see, will fit through. this is the way to do this end, because you obviously can't pull the Dyneema back through from the other side because you have 100 foot of PVC on there. So I used a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver worked great to make the holes into the Dyneema thread, and just worked it over the top of this plug. Alright, then once you get it all the way through, you pull it out straight, and then you take up the slack there in the end, and you see how it locks together. You pull it tight, and now you have it locked together. Now what you have to do is you have to hide the tail, and this is how you do that. Fold it back, take the screwdriver again, or the Phillips there, and you work it into the end. Takes a little bit of time to do this. Alright, once you get it all the way as far as you need it to go, you push it out the other side, and it leaves a little a nice little tunnel for the tail to fit up through. You slide this back off, and I just use some electrical tape on the end of the cord, and it threads right through the tunnel. Then you cut the extra off. And once you cut all the extra off, you then just pull it tight, pull it out, and makes a nice clean loop on the end. Super strong, and works great. Now I had my son take the other end of the PVC there, only about 25 feet or so, and then I stretched it out to get that. I had about 2 feet of that Dyneema sticking out. Pulled it until I got the end right in the end of the PVC, and then I did the same thing as I did before. I took a hair dryer, heated it up, and pushed it all the way down to the top. There's a little lip on there that you just push it all the way up to that lip, and then once you get that, you tie wrap this end. Again, there's a little channel in that plug. Pull it really nice and tight into that channel, and cut the extra off, and it's super strong. So I have 100 foot of float line with 25 foot of stretch on that.